Welcome to the Take It Home podcast. Podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. Tonight we've got two other lovely men in the chat. I'll give a hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself, brother.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media, Z Hendricks Brand, along with following us on Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, or Country Air Brand on Twitter. Now I'll pass it along to the Senior Official.
What's up, guys? Referee Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the Ref Brand, and Waffles. Take It Home podcast.
Waffles. Now, I was on a resort. I was able to find waffles about every day. It was very good. Had some nice little breakfast buffets. How was everybody else's Waffle Hut?
We didn't have any waffles nor pancakes this weekend. Sad.
How about you, homie?
Yeah, for Val's birthday, we went out and Val got a nice big Belgian waffle. I was in the mood for some steak and eggs, but I knew that what Val got, she wasn't going to be able to finish. So, I dipped on those waffles as well.
It's a smart man. Get a little bit of everything.
Exactly. I was like, why get this? Well, I know I can get a small piece of this and still get what I was in the mood for. So, yeah, phenomenal waffles as always.
It's just proper economics.
Yeah. She doesn't like the way I'm thinking about it.
Hey, but you know what's even more proper? A banger of the week. Perch, what you got?
Oh, this week's banger of the week. Been going back and rocking CDs. Granted, not the actual hard copy CDs, but albums on the phone and full albums. However, this one, I got this CD right when it came out, and it was phenomenal and an amazing storytelling CD. And I listened to it again over the weekend, and man, it's a banger. Hard to believe that I saw it 10 years ago, but the CD is good as it gets, and the CD as a whole one, but I'll pick a tune from it. But Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar, that whole CD, front to back.
Yep.
Storytelling the entire time. A good thread throughout the entire album. Good characters in there the whole time too. A lot of great childhood stories that remind me of growing up the high school days and stuff, and really rocking it. And that CD coming out in 2012 is like a fun era of life after the high school. So one tune from that CD, I loved it because a lot of the songs start out one way and then they switch another. But Art of Peer Pressure, maybe track 5 in there, maybe 4 or 5. Art of Peer Pressure, so good. The beat changes about midway through, and it's like, whoa, we're in deep.
Track 3,
really good. Bangers that survive, and that song definitely survives. And that album, 10 years old, still banging.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that was a decade old. It's crazy because I was a huge Kendrick Lamar fan before that album dropped. And it was wild to see how much he had blown up after that. It's like, if you can go through all of his albums, he always brings like a new character or like persona into each one. Big fan of Kung Fu Lenny. So I can't go wrong with any track on Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah, the whole CD, so good.
Good one. And eventually led to him doing the Black Panther album, which was also very good.
Yeah. I picked that one up too right when it came out. Another hard copy CD. Just great. Another good storyteller. He's great.
Awesome. All right, fellas. Why don't we start off with how we like to start off and talk about what we watched? Let's start with you, Zach.
Yeah, what did I watch? I watched Revolution, AEW Revolution.
Okay.
I don't know if that counts.
I mean, yeah, if you watched it, it counts. It was great.
Well, I know I was gone for that week, but yeah, we watched Revolution. I mean, of course, the Daniel Bryan John Moxley match was very was great. Believe it. That's like before the ring bell coming out. You guys were talking about Regal. I'm just trying to remember a lot. I know I was a big fan of the tag match. I was just kind of I was trying to figure out like how well the connection between the Young Bucks and Red Dragon was going to be. I was very convinced that there's going to be a new tag champion, and it's going to be because one of the other tag teams cost the other one it, and pinned one of the other, not Jungle Express, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, between Young Bucks and Red Dragon.
Yeah, I was very convinced like they were going to be like friends all the way till the end, and at the last second, like something to Schoolboy. But yeah, very entertaining match. I enjoyed Rampage. I want to say, did I watch? I'm trying to think if I watched Raw. I know I've been looking up the updates on Raw. Like I can see, like I heard Edge got a new song. Looking forward to that. Of course, they talked about the Razor Ramon stuff, but I know we're gonna get to that later. I mean, probably it doesn't seem like a lot of wrestling. I feel like once I hear stuff, I mean, yeah, I can't think off the top of my head.
All right, don't worry, we got you. Me, I did not actually watch much wrestling over the past week while on vacation, just because internet access was a little bit rough. I am watching last week's Dynamite right now, because it looks like these two episodes will have a lot of running storylines, and I just want to experience them. Kept up on some NXT stuff. I'm loving Dolph Ziggler down there, being a jerk on top, winning with just a super kick right now. Dolph Ziggler, I think, is highly underrated. So that's been fun. Actually ended up just because YouTube was probably the best thing I could find, watching a lot of old school wrestling. Watch some Frank Gotch from like the 1930s. Watch some Billy Robinson versus Bruiser Brody. Actually watched a lot of Billy Robinson, just info and stuff, and read up on some Frank Gotch stuff. More quiet learning over the week during my vacation. Perch, what you got?
Yeah, I really kind of had the channel on for wrestling this whole week, just kind of in the background, catching matches and clips. Yeah, that Edge segment was pretty damn cool. From out of nowhere, the music kind of hits. It stays dark and continues dark. The music was pretty damn sweet. It was like some awesome like heavy metal, which he's been wearing the shirts that are like, heavy metal bands. So it was fitting. Didn't know what to expect. And then he starts ripping on the crowd and belittling everybody. It was like, yeah, this is so cool. I didn't see it coming at all. And I enjoyed it because it was so different.
That seems like
And,
Edge is having some fun and at a creative peak in whatever he wants to do.
yeah, and here it seems like he's, turning himself into a monster for, AJ. And either he's gonna eat AJ or AJ is gonna slay the monster. But yeah, it was exciting. Good action on AEW last week. We were talking before. Dante Martin getting his shot up against Hangman. Awesome match and a cool matchup, to say the least. I really enjoyed that episode of AEW. Had like a million things going on, and they went so many different directions. 10 days later, it's like, or 7 days later, it's tough to remember it all. But Moxley and Danielson were in there, furthered the storyline with Regal. Yeah, they take on, was it the Workhorseman? Was it?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
JD,
JD, little bruiser in there giving us all.
Yep.
Just a
Country
great way to
cousin.
sell that finish too. Of the not gonna tap, and okay, that's all I can take.
Yeah.
He makes it so true.
JD. So good. So good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the AEW this week has been banging. Moxley and Danielson are the hottest tag team going. They are just pure enjoyment to watch. Really like the dynamic, just the two of the best. The idea of Regal on commentary tonight. Danielson was in the ring and Moxley was coming through the crowd. They've got the people at home captured. They've got the people in the audience captured, and anyone who's watching the ring captured. Like the best of the best going on, and it's on TV, and we're getting to enjoy it. So really love it. And the main event for the night is the Britt Baker against Thunder Rosa match. Excited to see where this one goes too.
Nice. Yep. I'll be happy to catch up on all the wrestlings. You know what? I'll go first on this next one and talk about what we did over the weekend because mine is super simple and not wrestling related at all. I went to one of my best friend's weddings out in Cancun, Mexico. Had an awesome time. It was nice to get away from that Midwest cold that had been coming and get into some nice, beautiful sun. Did some cave exploring, did a lot of drinking, a lot of dancing. Got to see all the old homies from home for the most part. So just had a wonderful time. Got back in 2 days ago. I've been trying to catch up on sleep because you don't sleep much when you're going that hard. But happy to be home, happy to get back to the work this weekend. Let's just go down the line. Perch, what you have?
This was a fun weekend. Kicked it off with a Killer Cross seminar. We were talking about, getting opportunities to learn and take, classes or studying stuff. So it was great to get an opportunity to have a seminar to start things off. And then the show that night was Warrior Wrestling in Indianapolis, Indiana. Really fun time. First time being back in Indianapolis since the Collective back in 2020, which was a very fun time, a very pivotal time, and speaking of JD Drake, I remember seeing him down there too, and just getting to see people along the way, and going to Indianapolis was another moment of stick with it long enough. You're gonna follow up on paths that you've already made, which is cool. So it was a good time. First match I had was Psycho Clown against Sam Adonis, which was kind of an honor. Those two are big names in AAA Mexico and big time feud. It was awesome to play a small role in having their match in as Midwest United States as it gets, which was awesome. I was the Midwest representative. and and it was great. Good match for the title. Sam Adonis hit his 450 splash. Psycho Clown, I think, kicked out. Very close. Great match. Psycho Clown did get demasked though, so stating it here that match should be disqualified. Sam Adonis won, kept the title. However, he should have been DQ'd by demasking. Yeah. But luckily, Martin was there wrestling with unicorns. I hollered for him. He tossed me his hat. We got the assistance needed to facilitate Psycho Clown safely. So it was a moment, a real one, and a real fun one, and scary. So that was a good way to kick things off that night. And then the next match was for the title, the women's title. Thunder Rosa champion against Athena and against Sky Blue in a triple threat match. That was a great match. Athena and Thunder Rosa had that 25-minute time limit draw last time. So to see them back at it this time, they continued their feud. And by the end of the match, I don't think it got any resolution. I think they may still be back at it. But Thunder Rosa ended up picking up the win in that match. And then the main event of the evening was a 3-way tag team match with Trey Miguel and Myron Reed against Arez and Dante Leon against Top Flight. Awesome to get the brothers back in there. Hands down. To see Darius again inside the ring and to be in there was very cool through the hard work he's put in to get back into the ring and to get to experience Darius and Dante together. They're at the top of their game right now as far as tag teams go, mixing it up with Arez from Mexico and Trey and Myron from MLW and Impact Wrestling, and Dante with GCW just as much as anything else, making his way around the world. Just great action, high flying, kind of top of their game, tag team stuff. And Trey and Myron end up coming up with the win. Fun match all around. Fight TV, you can check out the replay of Warrior 20. And then Sunday, we had a great time at Gali Lucha. And that was back in Chicago. Had a good car ride with Arez from Indianapolis back to Chicago and got to have another seminar inside the car right there. It was some good learning and a great
weekend
and a great dude, great luchador. And that was a fun show at Gali. Ended up having I think 3 matches, a tag team match, I think a triple threat, and then a 4-way match at the end with Bryce Benjamin, Joey Turbo, Atomico Jr., and Lindsay Dorado. Someone who I admired and studied his craft with his WWE days. I really like his character and his ability to move inside the ring. And he really brought a fun presence to Gali Lucha. I had worked with him once before at Warrior, but to get a Gali setting with Lindsay Dorado was awesome. He had kids inside the ring just dancing, and it was fun.
He's somebody that looks like he's having a lot of fun since he's left.
He is having so much fun. He's wearing kimono out there.
Yeah.
Dude's as chill as it gets.
What about rocking kimono, dog?
He's a cool cat. But just a great time. Great weekend all around. Fun matches. Very fun wrestling.
Awesome. Zach, how was your weekend?
My weekend was uneventful. Put some feelers out for wrestling. Nashville, it was full. So that one was was going to make a drive down to Nashville, but was just talking to the promoter. He just was saying, like, being really respectful, just telling me, like, hey man, like, I won't have, we're kind of booked this one, but other than that, like, did some feelers out here. But I think it was a nice weekend. I will say, I mean, it's been posted, but I wasn't here last week. Got engaged to my fiance. So last week it was kind of like I know Doc can attest to this probably more than we can, because Doc drank and traveled through customs and everything. That we put the feelers out, but I was kind of worn out from that trip. My trip, we walked like 13, 14-hour days all over Disney. So it was one of those ones. My body's hurting a little bit. I put out the feelers of anyone like If there was something that bit, then yeah, but I was like, if not, I'm gonna relax at home. I know we're about to go to war this weekend.
Yep.
Some brutal matches. So it was one of those where didn't have nothing, tried hard to get something, but ended up just relaxing.
Nice. Nice. All right. Well, I guess we can move into the topic of this week, which is we had great loss in the wrestling community over the weekend. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, the bad guy. So I thought we would start with just talking about some of our favorite Scott Hall moments. I'm gonna take maybe an obscure one because I know we're gonna talk about the big ones probably as a group. But I'm gonna go with his match against Tanahashi back in the day, where he let Tanahashi go over as a young lion-ish. Very young in his career. It came out recently that that was his decision to let Tana go over. They wanted him to win, but he saw something in a young Tanahashi and he wanted to put the kid over. And apparently he's done that a couple times. This is very reminiscent of the 1, 2, 3 kid situation. He's just a very giving guy in the wrestling community. I saw Absolute Intense Wrestling just post something about him where I guess they had him for like a weekend of events and had all the green kids giving him rides around, and Scott paid for all the food and gas. And when asked, he said that it's the vet's job to take care of the young guys on the way up.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know,
I was a big Razor Ramon fan, Scott Hall fan. He's my favorite member of the NWO. TJ Steele, I made like a post about when the passing, and TJ Steele, down in Chicagoland, made a comment just talking about how Scott Hall was like one of his idols and how he's got to meet him, just put over like how Scott was just super giving, very like willing to like help out anyone. So I've never had the pleasure to meet Scott Hall. I don't know if you guys have. I know Doc and I were scheduled to be on a show in May this year, and Scott Hall and DDP were two of the names that were going to be on the show. And I remember when the promoter reached out, I was like, yeah. And I was like, hell yeah, big Razor Ramon fan. We talk about stuff we do for preparation. One thing I kind of do, I feel weird if I don't wear wrestling socks when I wrestle. And what I mean by wrestling socks is I wear a nice long pair of socks with a wrestler on it. It's either Shawn Michaels or it's Razor Ramon, but yeah, I always make sure I always get like my nice pairs, wash them, and like put them in the gear bag. And Razor Ramon's always a go-to. Over the pandemic, I got when me and Val were first starting our relationship, we watched a lot of old wrestling, and I fell in love with Razor Ramon. Just loved everything about him, his look, his gimmick, how he carried himself, even as a babyface or heel. Just everything about him was great. I actually was grounded from singing the song because I would do the song way too much in every room I entered. It's got to stop. There'd be bands like a day band, then turn into 2-day bands, 3-day bands. But yeah, Razor Ramon, his theme song, everything about Scott Hall. That's one of my favorite little moments of Scott Hall is back in WCW cutting a promo, how he did not let no one phase him, and everyone's probably saw it where the soda hits his hair, and he just
slicked that shit back.
And he just owned it. Like, yep. This is you guys ain't gonna stop me from what I'm saying.
Yeah. Perch?
Yeah, I remember RCCW one time up north a little ways. Fun time, Gilbert Brown's campground, and the whole day Scott Hall was going to be there and X-Pac was there. We were waiting for the guys, and all day Scott Hall was having trouble getting there with flights and car, and it's like no one knew if he was going to show up or not. And well, the match went on just fine, or the show went on just fine. I remember refereeing the main event, and it went on a solid win, 1, 2, 3, great. was wonderful. Everyone's in the ring. I'm leaving and I'm walking out through the curtain. I go through the curtain and there's Scott Hall, clear as day. Boom, right there, larger than life. And X-Pac right there with him. And it's like, hey, dude, grab a mic. Like, oh, yeah, awesome. I go out, grab a microphone. There you go. Thank you. and that was that. I remember walking off and, loosening the collar and getting unwinding. Like, whoa, that was Scott Hall right there. I had already met X-Pac earlier in the day. Whoa, that was Scott Hall right there. It's a cool moment. And then watched him hit that promo, which is awesome. A moment I'll always remember. And looking back at some of the clips and stuff over the past weeks, or the past week, him coming out to the Fugees song at ECW was like, holy smokes, dude. Could you imagine being in that atmosphere, in that vibe, in that place, as he's just bumping it? And is it a song that he loved? Like, hey, let me play the hot radio tune that's going on right now. Like,
I don't know. It seems like
everything.
Seems like he was really with it.
Oh, he was with it. Like, it made sense. I just remember growing up, 97, 98 was when I was really, getting into wrestling for the first time. He was the coolest dude in the world. Him and Kevin Nash were on WCW when I was first, introduced to wrestling. And so they were just cool dudes. Really loved them. And then the NWO was awesome. But the coolest action that I remember from Scott Hall was when he came back from the NWO in 2002 in Milwaukee. They made that debut for No Way Out, I believe it was. And just awesome with the full-blown NWO entrance. And they made their comeback that night. And then got into a little bit of a feud with The Rock, setting up for the Wrestlemania with Rock and Hogan, and Scott Hall against Stone Cold, which was a match I remember vividly, and how great of performers the both of them were. Here's Stone Cold, who I love from WWF. Here's Scott Hall, who was just the coolest dude in the world. So when they met up, like, I couldn't have even dreamed of that matchup. Who's gonna win?
Yep.
And they were both so good with each other. And Scott Hall made Stone Cold look so good, and vice versa. Really enjoyed that match. So when I think Scott Hall, that NWO era for the second coming,
and I would be remiss if I didn't say I do remember the old, like, Razor Ramon is coming promos from back in the day. I know I've probably always said, I've always been a work rate guy. I've always been a technical guy. But those promos are what got me into, like, being hyped for Razor Ramon, and then being, like, super intrigued. Whatever, I'm a kid. Scarface is awesome. And then the fact that he actually was really good in ring just made it all the better. So I would be remiss if I did not bring up how much, like, those promos were awesome back in the day too. He's had so many eras that were so good, and I don't think any of them should be overlooked.
I don't know. Did anyone see, like, DDT's tweet about, like, his conversation with Kevin Nash with the whole passing of Scott Hall?
Nah.
So I guess Kevin Nash, like, was telling DDP, like, of course, obviously sad subject, but said Scott Hall went out like a true heel, said, "Hey, Death, what's your finish? I'm kicking out of it." Like, you're not going over clean on me. Because when they unplugged the life support, he was still kicking for a little bit longer. So he was like, "I'm not putting you over clean, kid."
Nice.
He was one of the first people from like the WCW era when I was playing a board game growing up. It's like a WWF board game, and it was from the 80s, straight up. So I got to see a lot of dudes, like, old characters. So that was the first time. And it was like a little cardboard cutout of the character. You put it in a little green or red plastic standy thing. And that was how I was introduced to Razor Ramon. Like, whoa, this is Scott Hall. But Razor Ramon, who the hell is that? And then I realized like all these guys had backstories from the early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, this one was straight up like early 90s, Board Game 91 or so, 92, whatever it was in that era.
Like I always forget how tall Scott Hall is. Like when I was growing up, because like he always would be next to Nash when I was little. Like
Yeah.
NWO. So you always, when I was like watching the early 90s wrestling, like him as Razor with everyone else, I'm like, damn, you forget how tall he is.
Yeah, he was a big man. That's probably a testament to actually how huge Kevin Nash must be too.
Mm-hmm.
Something else I want to talk about, because I thought about it like right before I hit record, is since we're talking about Scott Hall, it would be also nice to talk about Big E. Big E had a pretty bad bump over the weekend on SmackDown, I believe it was, recovering down in Alabama, I believe. He seems to be in high spirits, but I think we should also talk about Big E maybe a little bit, and some of our favorite things about him. Like, I would be wrong if I did not bring up, he was the one that brought up big meaty men slapping meat. That just that spoke to my heart, and I put it on a shirt. Those are the type of matches I want to have, just big meaty men slapping meat. He just touched my soul on that one.
Big E, he got me with a couple years back. Edge and Christian were back, and they were doing a little bit of a promo in the back, and they had the kazoos, and Big E takes that kazoo and eats it, just straight up snatches it out of his hand and eats it. Like, that moment sticks with me forever. Remember that time Big E ate that kazoo?
I did a lot. I went to a live show, Big E, back when he was Intercontinental Champion. Before, I want to say it was before New Days. So I want to say on a live show he worked Tyler Breeze. This first time I ever saw Tyler Breeze, but this one fan, front row, this father hated Big E. Like Big E came out super pop, and like his kid's like, "Yeah, go Big E," and his dad grabs the kid, pushes him, puts him in the chair, starts pointing at him, calling him out, cussing him out. I hate you, Big E. And Big E just fed into it. Was on the corner. He's like, "Oh, you love me, Daddy. Oh, you like." Front row, but he embraced it, enjoyed it, and when he went over and hit the big ending on Tyler Breeze, turned over, he's like, "I'm still the champion. You still mad, Dad? You still mad?" Just feeding right into it. He baby face, but he was giving it to the guy right back.
Also, I got to say, I think Brock Lesnar and Big E have been my most entertaining Money in the Bank holders. Dancing Brock and just Big E tormenting people and like humping the case, I think, are my most entertaining Money in the Bank winners.
Oh yeah, the video of him on the top, just on the top
rope turnbuckle, yeah.
Just loving his briefcase.
Yeah.
And a reminiscent kind of bump between the two of them too. So hopefully Big E can come back. Yep. As Lesnar was. They're both, genetic freaks.
Yeah.
They're both as strong and built of bodies where, Lesnar rebuilt himself, and kind of hope Big E can rebuild himself and, develop a different style maybe too, where Austin was never the same again either. He took a bump. So just wish the best for him and the best future too. Hopefully he gets the opportunity to still live out everything.
Yep, definitely. So much love to Big E. Looks like we can start winding down. Why don't we talk about what we got coming up this weekend? I am back from vacation and ready to kick some butt. Zach, what we doing Friday?
Friday, we look to recapture in the honor of Big D and the New Day, and ICW. Tag
Team
Team
Championships.
We take on the Cream Team Rising. I heard they might be calling themselves the Cream Department. I don't know what it is. They're just bringing a lot of cream to this team. But yeah, Friday we're taking on the newly crowned ICW Tag Team Champions and Ethan Matthews and Bob Beasley with Val Malone on their side. Friday's going to be a night for Dis. So what a better way to celebrate Dis, celebrate ICW, than recapturing our ICW Tag Team Championships and becoming two-time ICW Tag Team. Two-time. I don't think we've ever been two-time yet. So like, could be a first for us.
Yep. Looking to get that one. And then on Saturday, it is BCW's 500th show. A lot of the old champions, former champions will be in the building. It should be an awesome time, a great time to probably learn a few things or two. And we will start our best of 3 series against Caribbean Arrogance, La Sociedad Boricua, Kings of the New Era in Spanish. I don't remember how to say that in Spanish. Whatever they're calling themselves these days. But it starts our best of 3 series. It's a chance for the winner to be the #1 contender for those tag team titles that Brew City has that I think you want. I know I want. So,
I mean, Doc, you've tasted gold at Brew City. I've never tasted gold yet at Brew City. I mean, that's a belt that, I think any wrestler winning, they want to win a belt at their home promotion, and us tearing it up at Brew City the last year and a half, like we're hungry, looking to collect more belts, looking to get all the gold, and Brew City Wrestling Tag Title starts. Chase starts this Saturday. Best of 3 series of Caribbean Arrogance. Obviously, whoever wins the first 2 are the #1 contenders. So getting that win, getting that advantage, being up 1-0 is like always a nice, comfortable spot. Also, when you win your match, you get to pick the stipulation to the second match. So think of all the fun ideas Doc and I can come up with for Caribbean Arrogance. You know, they like to kick us in the wieners. They like to hit us from behind. They like to
straight up ball kicking match, and we kick first.
Yeah. Start off just hands behind the back, kicking each other in the balls.
Yeah.
Whoever comes up first. So yeah, come out, check us out. Watch us win some tag gold. Watch us get one step closer to Brew City Tag Gold. Celebrate the 500th episode that Frank's gonna be doing. So be a good time to take a whiff.
Definitely. Perch, what you got on the agenda?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. Kicking things off Friday night. Freelance wrestling on IWTV. It's going to be a fun time at Logan Square Auditorium for a Freelance Friday. Always a blast. Excited for what matches there are and matchups. It's always a fun time reffing. Ref DJ is there. He's a student and also learning to ref too before he does anything. So it's cool to share ideas with each other because I get to see it through a whole new perspective as well. And I really like it. And I don't know what to expect on freelance nights. It's always wild. The crowd is always super loud. And it's always a dark, intimate setting. I love it. So really excited for Friday night. And then I'm going to sleep in a hammock in Logan Square Auditorium because I'm going to wake up the next day and kick it for AAW on Fight TV, which will be a whole new setting. They'll have that place done up to the nines. Big lights, big screen, tons of AAW families. It's a rowdy pro wrestling crowd. And that house is going to be rocking. I'm really going to get to experience the sample from both in both nights to try and feel the true heart and soul of each company, which I I really enjoy doing, especially as a referee, as the man who represents the company and represents the fans on the behalf of the fan. I like to try and tap into the pulse as much as possible. And these are a few companies that, we got our start with, helping out, set up, tear down at Logan Square Auditorium. So it's going to be wicked sentimental over the weekend too. I'm really excited. And Sunday at the Ramada, which is just west of Chicago, downtown, it's going to be Gali Lucha Libre, and that'll be on Facebook Live, probably around 6:30ish or so. That one's going to be fun. A lot of good guys in the house. Arez is back, and really excited to see what match or what matchup he can find himself in, and whether or not I may be in it or not, because I'll be watching firsthand if I'm not in it. So going to be a fun weekend. I'm really excited.
Awesome. All right, fellas. With that, Zach, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
I do not.
Any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, rest in peace, Scott Hall. Lost a good crew of the clique. It's the first one, the boys. That one really hits home because it's people we grew up around. Triple H is in tough health, and everybody's been in tough health. To think about the surgeries that have been done, and Kevin Nash even too. Any one of them can have surgeries, and Scott Hall, stuff came from it. So we pray for everybody and hope everyone's doing well, and hope Mood is doing well on the other side of the world, and great wrestlers doing great things, and great people, first of all, providing fun times for all of us fans. So that's the favorite part of it all.
Okay. And with that, this has been the Take It Home podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.